Now I'd like to conclude the morning part of this symposium today. I think what we wanted to show you, or what we wanted to give you on the way today is three very important things. First, as scientists, we know that we don't know. We don't know answers to most of the questions in the universe at the moment. And that's something which you guys may not immediately realize when you listen to your science class at school or universities, that there's still so many questions that are open. And to answer these questions, it needs you. It needs your ideas, your innovations, your thought in the future, and it needs you to find answers to all these open questions. On the other hand, I think what we also heard from all of the talks really is that science is a discipline which has a very, very long-term view. So lots of the programs that you saw today, they had a time span starting today of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years into the future. So that's your careers, that's beyond your school, your university education, that's essentially your entire professional careers, going to build these machines, going to use them for scientific discoveries, and much more. And that's the third point. I think what history has shown us, and what also came out very clearly in all of the talks today, is that every kind of fundamental research always led to breakthrough innovations that impacted onto society in dramatic ways. Steve has mentioned cancer therapy as one of these applications, and here in Liverpool we have a proton therapy center which is being built right now and which is going to be improving healthcare for cancer patients very significantly in the near future. And there's all sorts of other applications. The World Wide Web has celebrated its 30th anniversary just last week, and clearly that's something that benefits us every day of our lives, and it's difficult to imagine how our lives would look like today if there weren't the World Wide Web. So these are the three messages I think we would like to give you on the way, and we would also like you to explore these in the second part of the symposium, where you can get your hands onto equipment and really do your own experiments also downstairs here in the symposium. I think the other point I wanted to make is that what science also needs is international collaboration, and collaboration without borders. So here in this particular study, we were lucky that we received funding from the European Commission for the EuroCircle project, but really science needs the world to work together, and we see that as CERN in the best possible way, where countries from all over the world, they collaborate with only one goal, and that is advancing science. So that's definitely something to bear in mind, because that is what drives science and progress ultimately. Now, in terms of technology transfer, I gave you a few examples, and what we've done is we've looked for maybe an unusual example of technology transfer, which also impacts on everyday lives. And what we have produced between Liverpool University and CERN is a film about technology transfer in a very specific sector. And today is the world premiere of this film, which is only going to be launched officially on Monday. Title of the film is Busy Bees and Mighty Magnets, From Higgs to Honey.
The magnets that we are developing here at CERN do not exist anywhere in the market. We are pushing forward the technology, we are advancing the technology.
Most people wouldn't even know that magnet technologies from CERN could be used to benefit society.
I started looking at the medicinal properties of honey when I read about somebody using honey on burns. I thought that's weird. So it was a very sort of an accidental pathway into looking at medicinal honey. Manuka is really cool because there's something naturally occurring in the nectar of this plant, and that gives it these really powerful healing properties. We get people trying to make fake Manukas using sugar syrups and other compounds that are much, much cheaper than Manuka honey, and then trying to sell it at this high value. Honey laundering is a huge problem, and it sounds kind of funny, but it's not.
Universities and research institutions undertake exploratory research. They generate new knowledge, new technologies, which can be used within different market sectors and also across society. They wouldn't necessarily know where those new technologies can be used elsewhere.
We at CERN build high-field magnets to keep particles in the particle accelerator on track. This can also be used in food screening because you need high magnetic fields.
And we can also use powerful magnets to catch honey launderers as well.
We know last year that around 10 times the amount of Manuka honey produced in Australia and New Zealand was sold globally. So there's new technologies coming on board that we're digging around with to fingerprint the honey.
The fundamental principle is called NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance. When the nuclei of the atom are in resonance with the radio frequency signal that comes in. They change state, and then this signal, you record it, then you can figure out what's in this kind of liquid. Has somebody diluted the honey?
2/3 of the global food benefits from honeybee pollination. So it's crucial that we support our beekeeping industry because they're producing honey, but they're also feeding us through pollination.
Exploratory science has specific aims, but many spin-offs can come out of it which can benefit society as a whole.
We have a whole basket of really complex problems facing us, and we have huge potential to deal with all of those, and we have so many clever people. I think fundamental science and research is the most important thing that the human race should be funding right now.
Fundamental research is a public good, that's what they call it. And it's true.
So you've just been part of the first recorded flight of a bee through the CERN complex, and I hope you liked the film. I guess that's the time to thank a few people for allowing this event to happen. First and foremost, the speakers who put in a lot of effort into these talks this morning. Then to Dr. Ricardo Torres, who was leading the coordination of the event together with my team, members from my Quasar group, and students and staff from the University of Liverpool. CERN and our Eurocircle partners have made that event possible, and we are also grateful for our sponsors who have supported the participation of the schools financially. Last and certainly not least, a big thank you to all of you for joining us here today.